Hello, hello, and welcome to another edition of Queen Astro's Tarot. To returning friends and subscribers, welcome back. To those of you who are new, welcome. Today we were going to, off to a great start. I think, there's so many, what are they thinking of me today, or what are their thoughts on you right now, tarot readings available, and they're awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I think so many times, or at least in my past, I don't want to project. In my past, when I've looked at those, believing in manifestation and believing, we call in our reality, really what I was trying to figure out, I was like trying to look for something outside of myself for a reason that I wasn't either connecting with this person in the way I wanted or what have you. So instead of doing what is my person thinking of me today, I decided to do, what do you, dear friend, actually think of them? So you might be like off the bat, like, I love them. Of course I do. Or they're my best friend, or whatever the case may be. But, and I say this as somebody, again, who has been through the exact same thing. If you truly felt that way, if there was that unconditional love, in your subconscious, like you subconsciously believed it. I'm not saying, to be clear, I'm not saying you aren't working towards this, or you aren't actively trying to make this relationship or, connection with this person what you want it to be. But at the end of the day, it's what our sweet little subconscious believes. So let's see what they think. So that way you can have a little more clarity in terms of whether or not you want to proceed in this connection, or, proceed in not aspiring towards it, pursuing it. That's what I was looking for. And if so, how to go about doing it. Or if you want to let go. Did I say that twice? I don't remember. Either way, my friends, this is going to help you kind of get a little clarity into what you actually think of this person. And if it lines up with what you feel and what you want to feel about this person, awesome. And if not, we'll look at a way to change that. And I've been holding on to this candle for so long, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Oh, it's so pretty. I don't know when I want to burn it. I got it at a metaphysical festival in Pasadena. I'll link it in the comments, by Mama Troy. But it's, I gotta smell it. It's a very clean, citrusy, oop, that's my dog, scent. And it's meant for clarity. So I thought it'd be really, really great. I've been waiting to light it for a minute, and I'm like, you know what? Let's do it today, baby. So let's hop into it. I purposely kind of hid everything just so, because your subconscious is also hidden from you exactly what you're feeling. So just go off general pile vibes, if you will. We've got pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. And these will be time-stamped in the description. And if you're feeling pulled towards more than one pile, maybe there's more than one message, or maybe there's multiple people you want to kind of look at. Look at as many piles as you want. And with that, I will take you to your piles. Really quickly, I gotta do it, because YouTube, please like, comment, share, subscribe. It really, really helps the channel. And I really like to do these readings and would like to continue doing them. So I really, really appreciate those of you who already have been doing that or subscribed. But yes, let's hop into it. What do you actually think of your person? Ooh, I'm not gonna transition this in any cool way. Ooh. Hello, hello. If you are here, you picked pile 1 for what do you actually think of your person or the person you have on your mind. And again, this is especially for people who are maybe trying to, I don't want to say trying, people who are manifesting or allowing a specific person into their lives. This can kind of give you insight into how to tweak your mental state appropriately, or if you want to confirm that you should be cutting this person off, maybe we'll say that too. So I don't want to, pose it anyway, but let's see. I picked a bunch of different cards from a lot of decks just because I feel like this is kind of a complex sort of subject, just because, for as much work as we can do on ourselves, maybe you have perfect clarity, in which case I am very jealous. But for most of us, it's an ongoing process. So it's always kind of nice to check once in a while. And I really do want to emphasize once in a while. If you are, consuming 5 hours of tarot readings a day, about this person, maybe take a step back. Just because in general, that'll just be like muddling the energy, if you will. So yeah, anyway, getting off my soapbox, let's go pile one. What do you actually think of this person in your mind? This person in question you have. All right, we've got absence in reverse. And the diamonds are associated with swords. And then you've got the consultant, also in reverse. Can I say it in German? The Ratschun, the Ratsukende. I did it. There we go. Hey, and that's the Three of Swords in reverse. And then you have a letter, which is the Ace, diamonds with Ace of Swords. So wow, a lot of mental energy around this person. Pile one, in terms of how you feel about them. So I feel like in the past, especially with this Three of Swords, or I'm sorry, this Three of Diamonds in reverse, which I read, as the Three of Swords, there might have been some sort of betrayal. But here's the weird thing. Not weird thing. Here's the interesting thing. Since this is kind of more looking at what you think about them, this card in reverse is about being your own worst enemy in terms of mental anguish. And I think for you, pile one, this might not be for everybody, but there has been, some sort of absence. And even if it's been short, which I'm kind of sensing with it in reverse, it has sort of sent you mentally in some sort of tailspin. And it doesn't have to be like super dramatic, but it's enough to be incessant and to the point where it's annoying and kind of throwing you off your regular routine because all you can think about is this person or why they've stepped out. And with the ace, or a letter, which is the Ace of Diamonds with the Ace of Swords, I feel like you are starting to gain some clarity about this person or about how you feel about this person, but you're still unsure. Like, you're taking the time to look at it. But for me, whenever I get this card, or pull this card rather, it says a letter, and I think looking at it, you would assume that the postal worker is handing the letter to the person in the window. But for all we know, the person in the window could be handing it to them to, for the postal worker to bring it to somebody else. So I think pile one, you are kind of weighing the quote unquote pros and cons of this person, or the pros and cons of maintaining this relationship or pursuing this relationship. And this doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. I feel like for most folks it is, but you are, I think, gaining some mental clarity about this person, which is good. But let's continue. I pulled two different tarot decks, so we're going to look at that. And then the final card we're going to look at, pile one, is from one of my favorite decks, the Empath Activation Oracle, in terms of how you can realign your perspective on this person, if that is something you want to do. All right, well, let's get into it, pile one. Yeah, I'm sensing, ooh, interesting. My light just went off. Please hold. That was strange, pile one. That has happened before, but it's usually like right away if I crank it up too high and I've got too many things plugged in. But that is not the case right now, friends, because I've unplugged a lot and it's I've lowered it, actually, the light. If you've noticed the video got dimmer, that's why. That is very interesting. Let's see what the cards reveal, pile one. I am, color me intrigued. All right, we've got the Two of Cups in reverse, right under this absence. The Seven of Swords under, and then the Queen of Swords in reverse. So much mental stuff going on, pile one. You are in your head, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, I say that with all the love in my heart. I've been that person. Sometimes I still am that person. So no shade, I promise you. I'm just saying, ooh, I feel that because I've been there. So pile one, I feel like maybe there's like almost like a false start with this person. Because the Two of Cups is usually a card about partnership, balance. It's little penguins. They're so cute. But this absence has kind of thrown your perception or your ability to, I don't want to say see clearly, but it has you on the fence about how you really feel about this person. With the Seven of Swords right under the Consultant in reverse, the Seven of Swords is all about deception, right? And here we have the tarantula climbing over all of these knives, or I'm sorry, rather swords. But what I'm getting is any doubts you might have about this person are definitely, with the deception, either something you are bringing onto yourself, where you're either reliving, a past mistake from either you or them, or you are dreaming up worst case scenarios. In that case, you would be your own worst enemy. Or if you were in the past deceived by this person or betrayed in any way, there's still an anger or resentment being held onto, like a rumination. So even if you aren't trying to manifest a person or, bring them back into your life in a way, or, course correct rather, a current relationship, there is this mental anguish going on in terms of almost like, especially with this tarantula, I'm seeing almost like, yes, whatever happened, this goof or this misstep from either you or the other person, the poison was sucked out right away. Like, it wasn't awful, but it was enough to really, make you reconsider things. Pile one. And with this Queen of Swords in reverse, I'm just getting the vibe that you want to kind of tear them a new one. Because the Queen of Swords is a very mentally acute person. They are quick and sharp with their words. Also, what's very interesting, this is a hummingbird, and did you know that scientists use hummingbirds to invent certain drone technologies? Because hummingbirds are the only birds that can fly backwards. And I think there's something about you, and so that's how drones fly backwards, because they learned from hummingbirds. But pile one, what I'm getting is there's this sort of, yes, and considering, like, yes, either I'm upset about this thing that happened in the past, things are really out of balance, I would like some clarity, but I also really, and I think with you, pile one, clarity is kind of synonymous in your head with resolution. And sometimes that isn't the case. Like, you can see really clear that something is awful. That doesn't mean you're going to automatically forgive it and be able to move on. And I think right now, pile one, you are really holding on to some sort of anger or past poison or past deception that makes you really just want to cut this person down to size, is what I'm getting. Love and hate are two separate sides of the same coin, right? Yeah, let me know if this is resonating so far, pile one. I'm very intrigued because I've also felt this anger before, so I get it. All right, let's keep going. So we've got, wow, the Hanged One right under. Yeah, like I said, like, you've kind of been thrown for a loop and kind of really reevaluating this whole scenario, because again, I do feel like there's a sort of misfire or false start that kind of, I don't want to say ruined, but averted a course that you would have rather gone down, right? And then you've got the Ten of Pentacles. This is a very positive card. Pile one. Oh, interesting. And then you have the High Priestess in reverse. Wow. Okay. Especially with the High Priestess in reverse and the Queen of Swords. Like, I feel like maybe you already have, like, if you're a witchy person, maybe you already have thrown a hex or curse at this person. Again, been there. Maybe don't do anything too drastic, my friends. I'm aging myself right now, but in the golden era of Tumblr, there used to be like a casual hexes or casual curses Tumblr that were like just gentle suggestions, like, oh, I hope that, the heel of your shoe always falls off and you always have to readjust your shoe. Like, just annoying hexes. So maybe if you are feeling anger and you want to, don't, maybe inflict actual pain, but maybe a little shade is okay. If you need to blow off some steam, you know, I don't want to endorse hurting anybody, but I think a little bit of almost like poltergeist, mischievous activity might also bring you some clarity, is kind of what I'm getting from this pile one. Because maybe if you do that and you're like, oh, I feel really bad about that. Like, I feel really bad that I made so-and-so's shoe always come off, because that is annoying. Then it can, you know, give you some clarity if you're like, haha, I'm so glad. I hope that the shoe falls off and they also step in dog poo. Like, then you're like, maybe I've got some things to figure out. You know, it'll help you. I think whatever this little mischief is will help you figure out what side of the fence you want to be on pile one. Wow, really interesting. Okay, so this is the last card we're going to close your reading with, but we are definitely going to go in depth because future universes, pile one. Let me hold this up. So for those of you who have been here before, like, yes, I already know this, Astro. But for those of you who are new, this empath activation oracle deck, the art. Ooh, hold on one second. Sorry about that. I just had to remind my dog to not bark. She's very good. I was like, Betty, and she's like, okay. The card, the art on the card is meant to activate the energy from the card within you. So take it in, baby. Future universes. And again, what's interesting is with all these spirals, I feel like that's kind of where you've been at pile one, is a sort of over and over kind of reevaluating again, maybe these past hurts or deceptions. And it's interesting, my thumb just moved this piece of moss agate, and I think of like really grounded, rooted. And this is also like green for the heart chakra. Like, this has stuck with you, this pain or this betrayal or deception. And again, even if it was quote unquote resolved in the 3D, like, you know, you two hashed it out and you felt good about it, there's something about it still nagging you. There's something about it that is just not bringing you the closure or result or outcome that you want. The Ten of Pentacles is interesting right here in the middle, because I feel like there's part of you that like does see this ability to like bring everything that you want to the material realm, to 3D. Pile one. And I also feel like, sorry, I know I was going into future universes, but then this caught my eye again. With the Ten of Pentacles here, this figure, they're just kind of vibing as the money or the pentacles are falling to them. And with this whole idea of the consultant, or, you know, quote unquote, being your worst enemy, this card is definitely a reminder to like, do not compare yourself or your gains or your losses to other people. So if there's any comparison going on in your mind with this person, this is reminding you to maybe take a step back from that, because as we all know, or as we've all heard at some point in our lives, I almost missaid that. Comparison is the thief of joy. Pile one. So take that as it resonates, and now let's get to the future universes 12, which I always think, and you don't have to be like spirit or, you know, Christian or whatever, but 12 always reminds of, you know, like 12 apostles or 12 followers, or, you know, I don't know, that just stuck in my head and I felt compelled to say it. So if that meant anything to you, you're welcome. I'm just looking through really quickly the Empath Activation Cards book because it's so beautiful, and I want to make sure I'm giving all the nuances to you, pile one. If you want to take a moment to like, comment, share, subscribe, definitely let me know if you're getting any clarity about how you actually feel about this person. But yes, this is definitely a card, obviously a manifestation, because future universes, it's not just one universe, it's universes. And this is all about how choices compound over time. You know, the butterfly effect, if you will. And this is telling you, you are at a choice or a juncture, right? Like this fence, if you will, where you can pick one outcome with this person or the other. And this isn't, I don't want to cause any anxiety, like, you have to choose right now. Like, that's definitely not what this is saying, pile one. Because if you want, you could just stay in this limbo forever. Which I would not advise, because who wants to do that forever? You know, every once in a while to retreat, it's great for some clarity. And it seems like you have taken some time to at least acknowledge that there is some, I don't want to use the word baggage, but some things that still need to be examined for you to feel clear about how you feel about this person and how you want to continue the relationship or connection, if at all. And this is all about, if you're unsure, like if you feel like you've been examining and you've been in this sort of like circle over and over and over of like, okay, I can manifest this person and I forgive them and clean slate, future universe, I'm going to treat them like that way. Here we go. But then the next day you're like, I'm going to kill him. You know what I mean? This kind of is suggesting to you to maybe, there's a lot of great ones on YouTube. If you Google, like, or not Google, if you go in the search bar, you know, guided meditation, meet future self or future self advice or what have you. Meditation where you either talk to your future self or ask for advice from your future self, or especially if you can like envision your like the happiest version of your future self, like not any conditions attached to it, like, oh, I'm with this person or I'm definitely not with this person or what have you, just you being super friggin' happy. And during this meditation, like asking your future self, how are you so happy? What did we do to get here? Because I'm so glad you're here. And then future you, if you listen, will give you advice. And I think that can absolutely be helpful here, pile one, because I definitely feel, and I'm sorry, you're like, yeah, I want to figure out what I feel about this person. It's like, you don't know. I think you know, but I think you're really straddling two different futures where there's like, especially with this Queen of Swords again and this High Priestess in reverse, there's this part of you that just wants to like, and you can, that's the thing, like you have the power to do it. You just want to, you know, burn the bridge, kind of make them hurt in the process and move forward. But I think there's another part of you, and especially from the empath activation oracle, that knows that even if it doesn't necessarily mean a romantic connection or, you know, the connection you first saw with this person. And again, that's not to say it won't happen, but to realign with the future self, like the happiest version of you with this person, or, you know, you in your happiest state, whether or not it involves them, and talking to them to figure it out. I think that could be really helpful for you, pile one. All right, I'm going to conclude your reading there. Definitely let me know in the comments if this resonated with you. And again, I'm going to do the whole spiel. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps my channel grow and it helps me continue to do these readings, which I really love doing these. And I hope that they are bringing you some clarity and just positive vibes, or, you know, what you needed today to hear. And that you have an excellent rest of your day, evening, what have you. And I will see you next time, pile ones. Bye. Hello. If you are here, you picked pile 2 to see what it is you actually think of them, aka the person in your mind, the person you're with, roommate, whatever, whomever you are thinking about, friends. So I pulled a lot of cards, or not a lot of cards, I pulled cards from several decks just because I feel like this is going to be a sort of complex sort of issue, if you will. It doesn't always have to be, but I feel like sometimes we can feel back and forth on a person, and hopefully this can kind of give you clarity on what your subconscious feels, and if you don't like that, how to change it, or if you agree with that, how to move forward in whatever capacity that means. All right, pile 2, let's hop into it. But before I do, you know I'm going to ask, please like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps my channel grow, helps me continue doing these readings. And I really love doing them, and I really hope that they bring you clarity, joy, or whatever it is that you need that day to grow and be the best version of yourselves, pile 2. So here we go. We're going to look at some oracle cards from Sylvia Oracle. We have, Thief, which is, I believe, the Jack of Diamonds, which is Swords. We have Surprise in reverse, and that is the 9 of Cups in reverse. And then we got the 2 of Hearts, Country House, which is like the 2 of Cups in reverse. So pile 2, I feel like this person surprised you in a way, a not good way. Like they took something, and I'm not sure what that is, whether it's your heart or, your favorite plant when they were moving out. They took something that you thought you had, like this, I'll turn it right side up so you can see. This figure's looking into a cage, which I assume a bird was in. And they're like, but the cage was locked and inside. And now what? It's a Nine of Cups is usually a wish fulfillment card, and seeing it in reverse is almost like a backfire. And again, with the Two of Hearts in reverse, the Country House, it's like this dream was, I don't want to say shattered, but literally turned upside down for whatever reason. Pile 2, whether that was a separation or a revelation, like a partner being like, I got a job across the world and I need to make a decision by tomorrow. Will you come with me? And you're like, farts, I don't know. Pile 2. So I feel like there was something that you thought was set in stone with this person, and something was taken. And even though this thief looks pretty gnarly, but they also look like they're doing it in secret. And I don't know why I'm getting this, because usually I'd read this as like, this person was being a jerk. But I feel like whatever this world turning upside down moment was for you, Pile 2, with this connection, they were doing it in secret out of a sort of shame or guilt, or definitely like a lower, like it wasn't to hurt you, which sometimes is even worse. It's like, oh, you were that big of a baby sort of thing. But definitely like a lower vibes is what I'm getting. Almost impulsive vibes is what I'm getting, Pile 2. But let's keep going and see what's going on. Definitely let me know if this is resonating, because this is intense, Pile 2. And I hope you are doing well. But let's see what you actually think of them with some tarot. All right, we have the Princess of Pentacles in reverse, the Prince of Pentacles, or the Knight of Pentacles. And this would be the Page. Are these all, can you see all of these? Oh yeah, I've got plenty of space. Thanks for bearing with me, Pile 2. And then, Hierophant, right under. Yeah, like you feel like there was an injustice done to you. Something emotional too, because I know these are clouds over this Hierophant, but they look like water to me. Like a lot of emotional turmoil for something that, especially with the Prince of Pentacles, or which is, the Knight of Pentacles, something that you worked long and hard for. The Bull energy is a very slow, methodical, almost like a Taurus energy, where yes, you're going to get to where you want, but it took you a long freaking time. And with this Princess or Page of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like you took a risk, is what I'm hearing. Like you took a risk on this person, or this situation with this person, and it took a long time after doing so. And now it feels like, yeah, some rules have been broken in your mind. Whether that's you two had an agreement, or you two, some sort of agreement or rules between you are broken, and you are not feeling great about it, or them. Like you don't, hate them with the fire of 1,000 suns, but there's a sense that you were wronged, and you want justice, is what I'm feeling, Pile 2. All right, we've got, interesting, the King of Cups. Where am I going to put these? I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to put them here. Yeah, even like, it's weird. With the Pile 1, I didn't have any issues situating the cards. And with you, all of a sudden, it's very confusing, even though it's literally the same layout. Like, I feel like you were, like, like you were on a path with this person. Like, you hit all the milestones, whatever that might be. Like, even if this were a work thing, like, oh, I was going for the promotion, and I told my immediate supervisor, and we went over these points, whatever it is, you felt like you hit all the check marks, Pile 2, especially with the King of Cups. Like you had such like a poise and balance, and to have this energy return to you is very disorienting. Wow, the Lovers. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling like this might be relationship oriented. And then the Ace of Wands. Huh. So you know what's interesting, pile two? It's like despite this turmoil you've been through with this person, you do see a future. Like you do see a new beginning, especially with Ace of Wands, which is all about passion. You know, that fire sign. Maybe this person you're dealing with is either a water or fire sign. This idea of rebirth and this idea of choice. And what's interesting about this Lover's card, it is seahorses. And as you probably know, you know, as most people, it's like the fun fact about seahorses is that the male seahorse is the one that carries the babies, which is a little bit unconventional. And I feel like almost for you, pile two, whatever this anguish or hurt was after, you know, so much building, you still see or feel like there's a choice for something amazing, for a new start. Almost I'm feeling like because you've balanced or been able to master your emotions in the sense that you use them to guide your decisions, but you don't let them control you. Because the Lovers is also a card of choice. And with Ace of Wands, I almost feel like you have this mentality of, you know what? Burn the old story to the ground. Let's move forward. So you seem very strong, pile two, which kudos to you. And again, that doesn't mean you have to go, this isn't saying, oh, this means you absolutely have to go back to this person. It's, again, saying you have a choice, pile two. But I think, yeah, your subconscious is definitely, if you are manifesting, is able to drop this old story, even though it does seem like it was very impactful to you, pile two. Wow, damn. Yeah, and we're going to close with the card from the Empath Activation Oracle. And you've pulled Mental Discipline, which I haven't pulled this card before, and it is friggin' cool. For those of you who've been here before, you already know this, but for new folks, this deck is one of my faves because the art is meant to activate the energy of the card within you. So with Mental Discipline, I'm seeing this like sense for like balance and routine. And pile two, I'm gonna be clear with you. I feel like you're already on this path. Like you already kind of know, like you've been like, yes, did this person hurt me? Absolutely. Did it throw me for a big old loop? 1,000,000,000%. Am I ready to either forgive them and move forward with them or forgive them and move forward with myself? Yes. Like either way, pile two, you are ready to move forward in either way in terms of how this connection should go, but in a way that serves you, which is awesome. You know, like it feels like there's not as much mental anguish, which definitely I anticipated more in these readings. So much as it's, you know, you have the choice. And I think subconsciously you want to, and again, this isn't to say you have to go back to this person, you have to make amends with this person or make things work with this person if you're in a bad or abusive, like please don't. But if you have been on the fence, like, yeah, this person did hurt me, and maybe there's almost like a little fear of people being like, wow, I can't believe so-and-so, like I can't believe pile number two took so-and-so back after they put them through the ringer, sort of thing. And I think you're kind of above that pile too. And with this Mental Discipline card, I think it's calling for you to, with whatever path you choose in terms of this connection, to really be able to stick with that story, so you're not flipping back and forth, because you've already done so much healing, pile two, in terms of whatever lessons or pain this connection has brought you in the past. Really quick, I'm just looking over something really quickly in the guidebook because I want to make sure I'm giving you, because you really do seem, pile two, like you are on your game in terms of being balanced, like, meditating, like knowing there's a choice, knowing how to make things work. But just make sure I'm giving you the most nuanced reading. So if you want to take this moment to like, comment, share, subscribe, I appreciate it. Oh, wow. Interesting. So this card comes with, so all of these cards come with different either invocations or rituals to kind of also help activate the energy of the card. And I'll link it in the description because it's such a cool deck. But this is all about invoking the staff of Kali. And Kali is a Hindu goddess most associated with death. And again, I don't think this necessarily means like, oh, this means you have to cut this person off or you have whatever this is. It's the death of the old story, right? And knowing when either connections are no longer serving you or stories about, like old stories about connections are no longer serving you. And sometimes both can be true, pile 2. But if you feel like you are, for whatever reason, again, either worried about how it looks to others, if you do choose to forgive this person or to reconnect with this person or to continue with this person, or if you feel like you're nervous it'll happen again, this is definitely something you can do, is invoke Kali if you feel comfortable with it, or if you work with deities. When you need that instant like decision, that sure decision, when things are complicated or you feel like you've just been wading through a mess over and over and over. Yeah, it says, imagine holding her staff and drawing a clear line in the sand. You are on one side of the line. On the other side of the line are the distractions you're separating yourself from, the things you're saying no to, or whatever is vying for your attention but is not currently your chosen focus. If the symbolism of a circle of protection or a zone of silence resonates with you, then use her sword to encircle your energy field entirely so that you may more easily manage what you allow in your sacred space. And I think that especially applies to if in your heart of hearts you do feel like this person or this connection is worth reinvestigating or continuing or what have you. I think this is especially this is like, yeah, a circle, like really calling to you to reflect on what about these outside, and how funny, like I couldn't set them up and then I had to put them over here. What about these outside opinions, especially, I'm saying outside just because they're pentacles, so I'm like thinking of 3D and like usual rules. What about outside opinions is keeping you hung up on making a decision either way? I think that's definitely something that will help you gain clarity about this connection and what you ultimately feel about this person and how you should move forward. All right, I'm going to conclude your reading there, pile 2. I hope it brought some sort of guidance or confirmation for you about this connection. Definitely let me know in the comments how it resonated. And again, you know the drill. If you can like, comment, share, subscribe, it definitely means the world to me. I super appreciate it. Like I just get all cheesy and smiley when I see comments and all the new subscribers. So thank you so much to those of you who've already done that. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, life. But I hope to see you sometime again in said life. All right, bye, pile 2. Whoop. Whoop. I just banged 2 things as I was trying to say hello to your pile. That's probably going to mean something, pile 3. Let's see what your cards have. So if you are here, you picked pile 3 to see what you actually feel about this person, what, maybe your subconscious has impressed about this person. So let's just hop right into it, pile 3. I was banging all over the place. All right, we've got, wow, coral. See, I told you, I was like, and I feel like off the bat, just by the whoop whoop that I was doing, I feel like a coral started off something very silly and then it turned into like a mountain out of a molehill situation with this person. That's what I'm getting. Huh, interesting. And then we have, yeah, impediment. Yeah, like something blocked. And the diamonds are the swords. This is the 8 of swords. Huh. Interesting, pile 3. And then we have hope, which is the 3 of clubs, which I believe is pentacles. I'll have to look that up. Correct me if I'm wrong. But what I'm getting, pile 3, is that, again, especially when I was like very clumsy, like, whoops, I feel like there was kind of like in this connection or with this person, something that was blown out of proportion. And it put a block or an impediment or a delay in this connection, whatever it is. But you are hopeful, which is great. And especially with 11, I love that 11 is hope, which is the master, or, one of the master manifester numbers, pile 3. So yeah, this feels very clear cut to me so far, but let's see what else is happening, pile 3. I'm very intrigued. Like, I feel like, yeah, it was a very silly thing and Maybe it was a little embarrassing even, especially with the, I know these are, old school cards, but this figure who looks like a masculine figure has a ton of makeup on, almost to the point where like they look like a clown. Like you might have felt like, God, that was so silly. Like, I can't believe we fought over this silly thing. Like, I feel like a clown, or they should feel like a clown for blowing this out of proportion. Something like that. Pile 3 is what I'm getting. But let's keep going. All right, I've got the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, right under the coral. 6 of Cups also in reverse. And then the 8 of Cups also in reverse. Yes, I don't know why I keep getting like almost like slapstick comedy, pile 3. And that isn't to belittle your situation or what you're going through with this person or your feelings about this person, but I feel like it's almost been like over and over and over silly thing that has blocked or impeded the connection or what you want it to be, but you are so hopeful. I think too, with the 6 of Cups in reverse though, I think there's like a part of you that is nervous about romanticizing the past or nervous about this hope, especially with the 8 of Cups in reverse right under it. Like, I feel like there's a part of you that's like, you're joking. You're just kidding yourself that like anything could happen. Or that you're just telling yourself it was small, this coral, as a form of escapism because you feel bad about it. Like, there's a part of you, pile 3, that I feel like is kind of mean to yourself. And I get it. Like, there's definitely times where I am very mean to myself, and then I have to kind of, pull myself back and be like, hey man, love yourself. Like, when you say everyone love everyone, that includes you loving you. Because I love that quote from, sidebar, from Semi-Pro, the 2009 Will Ferrell movie. Not a great movie, but there's a line where he's like, we have one rule on this team, ELE, everyone love everybody. And I've stood by it. But here, I'm sorry, pile 3. I'm getting this very like fun energy from you. Like, so I think there's almost a part of you that feels like childish for like having this like bright, playful energy, or this like, especially with this 9 of Pentacles in reverse. I think it's interesting because there's so much happening around this cat, but they are just like, whoa, this ball of yarn. Like, they are so preoccupied and so pleased with it. And I feel like there's a part of you that feels almost silly for having this hope. Again, like, I feel like there's almost like you going, like, that's fairy tales. Like, you having any sort of hope for any sort of resolution or clarity is you just, there's a lot of, self-guilt. And, it's good to recognize patterns and to be able to look at our actions and be like, hey, is this something I'm doing because it's going to serve the greater good, or is this something I'm doing out of fear? And I feel like this hope isn't out of fear, but I feel like all this anger towards the hope is. Like, you almost feel like, like, I'm reading really quickly a little bit out of the guidebooks. It's so gorgeous, but in reverse, it's about like exploitation, scams. Like, you almost feel like you're kidding yourself, pile 3. Like, you're struggling with your sense of self-worth. Doubt is rushing in, making you question whether you have anything to offer the world. Your skills may not feel like they're enough, and nothing you produce feels like it has any value. This may have led you to accept less for your labor than your worth. Conversely, you may be focusing on bettering your self-worth by slowly opening up to self-care. In either case, it's time for you to take a step back and realize that you are worth more than you're letting yourself have. It's very interesting, pile 3. But I keep getting that hammering home that usually I feel like, and part of me is like, is this reading for you too, dude? But I would read these two, and this, like the 6 of Cups in reverse and the 8 of Cups in reverse, like, oh, you're looking at the past with rose-colored glasses. You're keeping yourself trapped in this wish. But I think since the 9 of Pentacles is here in reverse, it's like reminding you, like, no, you can't. Like, yes, there might have been like a mulligan, if you will, like a whoopsie, a restart you needed. And maybe even like there was some, I don't even want to use the word romanticizing, but some sort of forgiveness about the situation due to almost like extenuating circumstances, which I don't want to say often just because, you definitely want to set boundaries with people. But what I'm saying, pile 3, is you aren't weak or childish for, or, you know, going into escapism for still having hope about this relationship, whatever that means to you, pile 3. But let's keep going. We've got a couple more tarot, and then we'll go into your empath oracle activation card to really look at how to move forward with this connection, or to see any final thoughts on what you think about them. All right, we've got the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Very interesting. A lot of pentacle, a lot of like, 3 of Torches, which is the 3 of Wands. And then the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, so really pile 3, I'm getting this like idea about like, you do, again, like I feel like you've got this very romantic notion of this person. Again, even if there was like a misfire, like I'm getting like very slapstick, like almost like I Love Lucy, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that, I don't know. Very mountain out of molehill. I know I keep saying that, but I just keep getting that. And you feel like, again, with these 2, the 9 and the 8 in reverse, it feels like maybe even you feel like, oh, something's kind of compounded and made my or our whatever initial mistake or misstep even worse. But I think here with the 3 of Torches, it's telling you the 3 of Torches has this sort of maturity about, like a passion that's mature. Like, yes, you're looking at these things in the past in a, maybe in a way that in the past you would have been like, oh no, that's you just holding on to something that you don't need to. But here I'm getting that you really did kind of take the time to reevaluate this initial whoopsie and delay. And I think you looked at, especially with all the pentacles, like you looked at your part in it too. You know, like I feel like some people can be like, well, and this isn't to say, you know, everyone's at fault all the time. You know, obviously some people are the worst or abusive, and I don't want to victim blame, but you know, there are some situations where it's like, oh, we miscommunicated. Like I definitely said something weird too. Like, you know, like, or he texted me a GIF and then I just left him unread, but like I put my read receipts on so he would know. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's things like that where it's like, yeah, I acknowledge my missteps, or like where I was also trying to maybe burn them a little bit as well. So I think you've come to this place, pile 3, where, yes, I think like, especially since this is one of the first things, like subconscious, or on your, not subconsciously, like consciously, you are hopeful. But I think there is a part of you that is, while you are ready to move forward, and whatever that means to you with this connection, there's part of you, I think, that still feels like you're kidding yourself, whatever that means to you. But let's take a look at your empath activation oracle card to see how we can help this sort of either imposter syndrome, or how, if you genuinely do feel like, no, I am in a cycle of, you know, fantasizing and this doesn't feel healthy for me, like, and that's okay too, you know, how to move forward in whatever capacity that is for you, pile 3. So yes, you got 6, which is greatest wound, greatest medicine. Interesting. Yeah, because it's like, despite all of this, it's like you've got all this hope, pile 3. And these cards are meant to activate the energy within you. And so what I think is interesting here, pile 3, is that this card, and this, I want to make it clear, this card isn't about like glamorizing abuse or trauma. Like, oh, you need that for character growth. No, 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 no. No one should have to experience any of that, like, to be very, very clear. But I think with you, pile 3, what it's saying more than anything is, and again, with this like almost lighthearted likeness, you've been able to take this thing that kind of quickly snowballed and shouldn't have, like, and you're able to transmute it. And I think it's your choice whether or not you want to be like, no, I'm moving forward with, you know, this is just fantasy, or I've learned what I need to, and I just want to, you know, start with somebody new, which is also just fine. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, because I can change it, I will. You know, that's, letting go is always an option. Y'all, I just want to be very, very clear on that. But if you are like, no, I feel like I want to heal or move forward with this connection, but there definitely were some missteps that we had I'm trying to, because it's not like embrace your shadows. I'm getting like almost, I'm trying to, I feel like this is almost like, if this speaks to you, pile 3, just talking to the person about it. And if it's like, no, I can't talk to this person about it, or whatever, you know, maybe a counselor, or therapist, or a friend you really trust, or somebody you trust to be objective about the situation. And you don't need to ask for advice necessarily, unless you know you want it. But I think more than anything, you know, pain shared is pain halved. So I think being able to let go of this notion that you're quote unquote kidding yourself, part of that, or the ability to do that, is sharing this, you know, sort of anguish. Because I feel like too, this is a lot of, if there is any sort of self-deception, it's that maybe even this lightheartedness you have about it, like, oh, ha ha ha, like, oh well, I moved on anyway, but then here you are pining. So that could also be what this illusion, this idea of illusion is talking about. And so I think pile 3 for you, in terms of like how you think of this person or your connection to this person, sharing the pain or the confusion you've had with somebody might be really helpful for you. Or even just if you don't feel comfortable talking to somebody about it, just writing it down in a journal, or writing it down on a piece of paper and throwing it away, just like letting it out of your head. You know what I mean? Pile 3. Or if you feel like, if you're somebody who's, you know, I'm not like a super on social media person, but if you are and you know, want to share your story, as long as you're not maybe, you know, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but maybe don't put the person on blast. But if you're like, hey, if you've ever been through this situation, don't worry, you're not alone. Like, other people have been in your situation, pile 3. And I think by connecting with them, you will be able to gain more clarity into your feelings about this person. And I think here especially, wow, okay. For this card, it's all about Chiron return, which happens like every 50 years. So I haven't had my first one. So, but it also reminds you that like, you can be trusted with your power. Like, you are trustworthy and you are worthy. So like, empowering others will help you find your power within this connection. Pile 3 is what I'm hearing. But yes, I'm going to conclude your reading there. Definitely let me know in the comments if this resonated with you. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I genuinely appreciate it so much. Like, thank you to everyone who has been doing that or has already done that. Like, thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, morning, day, whatever time or not time it is for you, pile 3. And I will see you next time. All right, bye. Hello. Last, but certainly not least. Did you ever do that where you mix up the first 2 letters of the 2 words you're about to say, like Pobody's Nerfic instead of Nobody's Perfect? Anyway, pile 4. If you are here, you picked pile 4. Let's hop into it to see what your person... Wow, I'm all jumbly. I'm usually jumbly when I'm reading just because like I'm in the zone, but this is the jumbliest. I think that's important to note. Pile 3, I was clumsy. Now I'm jumbly. But let's see what you, pile 4, truly think about the person on your mind. All right. We've got loss of money in reverse. A blonde woman. Una blonda. And journey. So what's funny with this very sultry woman showing off her ankle and lost some money, like I feel like, and this might not be for everybody because this like feels like a very literal take, but I am being called to say it. Like, you feel like this person maybe like they didn't cheat on you, but they spent money that was promised to you, or either, and I'm trying to keep this very general in case this isn't a love reading. I feel like for most folks it is, but You know, if this were like a business partner, you're like, hey, let's save X amount of money so we can rent out a space. And like, oh, I just got us this really sick LED screen for our office that was like $1 bazillion. And you're like, buddy, what? Like, somebody was tempted, whoever you're thinking about, like, you feel like they almost ripped you off for a vice. And I'm not saying, you know, all women are hooters. I'm just saying with this suggestive look and the ankle thing, that is the vibe I'm getting. And just really quickly, I'm gonna say it, sex work is work, okay? So if you don't like it, get off my channel. And then you've got journey. Yeah, like I feel like almost like you feel like you were carrying so much for this person, and they're just like tra-la-la-la-la. Like I feel like you feel like you're really burnt by this person, pile 4, especially I'm getting like monetarily or, you know, financially especially. And I think, yeah, that's what I'm getting so far. But let's look at your tarot. I pulled a bunch of different decks just because I feel like this can kind of be a complex situation to see what you truly feel. And when I say truly, I mean, you know, we can consciously be like, oh, I forgive this person, or I burned the bridge. I don't think about that person at all. But as we know, our subconscious paints a pretty, pretty picture on the 3D screen and tells us what we really feel. So if you want to fix that picture, or pick a different one rather, you don't have to fix it. It's already made. If you want to pick a different one, that's how you do it, pile 4. All right, enough with my woo-woo. Let's keep going into your tarot. All right, we've got the 4 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, wow, right under that. Okay. The Ace of Torches, or the Ace of Wands. Yeah, again with that passion, like this newness. Like I feel like you're almost mad at them for making like a noob mistake, whatever that is. So even if it was like a partner who you're like, was like flirting with somebody and they had their like phone where their messages could be read and it was like clearly they were flirting with another person, you're like, bro, like at least you could silence your, like be smart about it at least, like, you know what I mean, pile 4. Like there's something about it like that feels like they were very clumsy about the way they've hurt you, or I don't want to say hurt, but like the way they've betrayed you or made you reconsider the relationship. Yeah, with the 2 of Swords in reverse. Wow, like again, yeah, there's like this indecision about them. There's like sort of stalemate because with the 4 of Cups, like I feel like maybe there were other offers that you passed up to either be with this person or work with this person. And then these other options were there, but you're like, no, I choose this because like this is who I'm with or who I'm working with or who my roommate or whatever it is. And then they kind of, I know usually the Ace of Torches is like a positive card, but with the, in conjunction with the Blonde, like it feels like, yeah, they really just right away just messed it up real good for me. And, or like really just put me through a lot that made me really feel like like you want to forgive them, but you're not sure how to, is what I'm getting pile 4. Yeah, but let's keep looking at some more tarot. I've got 3 more tarot cards, and then we'll look at the Empath Activation Oracle card at the very end to kind of help you navigate your true or, you know, your subconscious feelings about this person and how to move forward or move from the connection if need be. But yeah, definitely let me know in the comments if this is vibing with you, pile 4, if this resonates. All right, we've got the 8 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I feel like with the, especially because the 8 of Wands, I usually think of as like a forward movement, like very quick, but in reverse, it almost feels like this hawk looks frightened because they could almost be hit by an arrow. And I think for you, it's like, wow, I can't believe how quickly this went downhill. That's what I'm getting pile 4. Oh no, I'm also hearing the Newfound Glory song. Catalyst, you insist to pull me down. I'm not going to sing the whole thing, but there's a part where they go, and it's all downhill from here. They do it very nasally. Anyway, pile 4, let's keep going. You got the Page of Pentacles in reverse, which these are, it's a little grasshopper. And then you got the Page of Cups in reverse. Wow, yeah, especially, okay. This this knight move, if you will. With the Page of Pentacles in reverse and the Page of Cups in reverse, I feel like this person had, like, especially with the Ace of Torches, like, has an enthusiasm about them. But whatever vice got the best of them, it also kind of left you in the rut. And they happen fast because it's like, oops. Like, there's like an emotional immaturity that, or I think that you like view them, and this isn't to say it's not true. You can view them in one way and that can also be true. But like, yeah, naivety with money, naivety with their emotions or how it impacts others, especially these are all sardines in an 8 or an infinity symbol. And it's like, yeah, everything you do affects the water around you, aka me. Which is, I think it's interesting because it seems like the way I've kind of been doing these readings before is like this being like the surface level stuff and then this being like the subconscious stuff. And in both realms, it feels like you're like, yeah, this is what happened. They burned me good, or I bore a lot for them because of their sort of fast, passionate movement into, I don't want to say destruction, but whatever situation that made you, either lose money or time. And yet you're still undecided about them, and you keep thinking about them. You keep thinking about this situation. And you almost keep thinking like, oh, if only, like I could have done this or I could have done that, is what I'm getting pile for in terms of how you feel about that. Think about them. Like almost like I could have saved him from doing this thing. Which, to be clear, they are a person, they're responsible for themselves, But I get what it, like they should have, what it could have. But what I think is so interesting is I pre-pull these, but I don't pre-read them. So it's so cool. They've all been doing this, but especially with this one, seeing the rewilding card here for you, pile 4, which is almost like I view it as, oh, it's so pretty. Like what is it, when they you raise a field, you have to like burn it and let all the ash and the minerals like sit in the soil so you can grow something new. And for you, pile 4, I think it's weird because I feel like they've really put you through the ringer, and like that consciously and subconsciously, and yet like they're kind of like hanging in your head for whatever reason. I do have a reading on that. Maybe be interested. Why are they living in your head rent free? Which I think is so interesting because like, yeah, it feels like you very much know in your mind and in your heart, like this person, like, and this isn't to say they're bad, but they're not on your level is what I'm getting pile 4. And I think that isn't to say that like anything can't come of it or they can't grow. But I think in order to like either move forward, either from rewilding, you need to burn the old story to the ground. Because you have been hanging on to this. There's been some mental anguish about this. Like, and again, I'm getting this almost like rumination about shoulda, woulda, couldas. Like, because it went downhill so quickly. And I think if you want, you could stay in that energy forever. And not to say like, you should feel guilty if you've been like kind of thinking about it or analyzing it, or because it's, important and healthy to look at those things. But if you've been in this energy for a while about this person, kind of like, oh, I know they burned me, and I know that, like, again, this isn't to say they're a bad person, but I know I need somebody who can offer more, and they just aren't able to do that right now. Or the way I'm viewing them, again, this is, if you're into manifestation, you're manifesting like a specific person or something, the version of them in your subconscious does not live up to what you need. So, either way, whether you want to move away from the relationship, improve it, reconnect, whatever it is for you, pile 4, burn that old shit to the ground. Like this rewilding is like this chance to start anew. And I know letting go of this mental anguish is hard, especially when like it seems like I'm almost getting this like idea with this person, whatever this connection was, like you literally like laid out the guidelines, like you were very clear about your intentions or your needs or desires, your expectations, and they still found a way to either just ignore that or just fumble so friggin' hard. That's what I'm getting piled for. I'm just laughing, not because I'm like, because I've been there. We've all been there, and sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying, right? And realize too that at the end of the day, it's a story of a billion stories we can tell ourselves. So why not tell ourselves a better one? All right, pile 4. I'm just really quickly to close your reading a little bit about the rewilding card from your empath activation oracle card to kind of help you gain more clarity or how to move forward and how you feel about this person. Yeah, taking a stand, having an opinion, drawing a boundary, stating a point of view, these actions create an anchor point, something solid for people to react to, often either being magnetized toward or repulsed by a particular energetic field that is created. In expressing yourself, you will be seen, which might trigger immense fear or past life atrocities of being punished, ostracized, or even killed for standing out. Is it okay for people to not agree with you? Release yourself from pressure of needing to please everyone. Yeah, and I think pile too, especially with like, I feel like there's almost like a, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings because they're not doing it on purpose. But, and again, it's not your job to make this person grow up or learn anything. But if they've stepped on over a boundary that you've made very clear, you can be like, hey, remember when I said this thing? You know, do it in a nice way or in a way that you feel like will best. Whenever I'm trying to, weird sidebar, whenever I'm trying to figure out like, oh, I'm trying to communicate this to a person and, you know, I happen to also be upset or frustrated, I try to think, what can I say and how can I say that will get me the desired results? Because like usually my gut is like, yell at them. But is that going to get them to change or to see my viewpoint? No. So anyway, weird aside for you, pile 4, but hopefully that resonates. I feel like that was for somebody. Yes, here's an incantation of rewilding. I'm going to end your reading with pile 4 in case you need some sort of call to help you with this. And I will link this deck in the description as well because it's beautiful in terms of like I work with a card a day and just, you know, analyze. Oh, I love it. Anyway, pile 4, let's read the incantation of rewilding for you. Powerful, imposing, chaotic, raw, the forces of the cosmos elicit awe. I ask as willing co-creator to join with the originating animator. I release my fears of being seen, of judgment, unworthiness, and the unforeseen. Dissolve the barriers that suppress my voice. I speak my truth and own my choice. I welcome life force, organic and wild. I start anew with the wonder of a child. I reinvigorate my mind and energy to live with the world in great synergy. I hear the call of Gaia and nature. My heart supports her vital stature. I express my authentic self with zeal. Infinite passion is now and forever unsealed. Damn, pile 4. All right, I'm going to leave you with that for how you actually view or think about your person. Definitely let me know in the comments if this resonated with you. To those who've already subscribed and commented, thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate it. You know the drill. If you can, like, comment, share, subscribe. A little bit of an energy exchange, if you will. And I wish you the best of luck in this connection, pile 4, whatever that means for you. And until next time, I will see you next time. All right, bye. Bye, bye, bye.